Hello. Can everybody hear me?
I hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. So, ready to get started?
We don't have a
Racism.
quorum.
I thought 4 is a quorum.
Ray is not a member.
Oh, oops. Race isn't coming. So, Ray, if you would join, we'd have a quorum. How is
Jason is joining. Jason's
Jason,
joining.
Okay, so we got a quorum. Okay, so 7:01, we can get the meeting started. Everybody state your name. Lee Wessler's here.
Crystal Adams is here.
Jean Pillow is here.
Okay, and there's no alternates to seats. Has anyone looked at the minutes? And
Oh,
Jean,
I've looked at the minutes.
yes. So you're gonna have to leave it for Grace to change on the tape.
Okay, so
Go.
Crystal, can we go through what exactly needs to be done? The minutes from last month were kind of confused. Things were combined into one thought where they were two separate issues. And some of these things were things that are like, she left off the communications and stuff like that. When we say we're going to change the minutes, how do our minutes from this month need to reflect those changes?
So from what I've seen, it looks like you just list what the changes are.
Okay.
I mean, you'd have to talk to the clerk's office, but that's how I've seen minutes changed. I don't know that people go in and physically change them and like resubmit them. I think you always refer to the minutes of this meeting where it'll say, we changed this spelling or we added this. But again, that would be a town clerk question, but that's just how I've always seen it done.
Okay. So I guess we have to, like, what's the next steps? Do we say we accept the minutes, vote?
No, you.
With the following changes,
Yes.
amendments.
Yes, so
Right.
tell us what you need to amend, Jean.
I'm going to share the screen because I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
So first of all, under communications, there was none listed. And Lee and I discussed an email we had received from Chandler about the Development Review Committee recommendations and such. So that needs to be noted under communications. So that has to be amended. Then under the DRC report, there was, because Grace doesn't have, or she finally broke out the DRC and the POCD into two separate sections, but DRC was focused on the scenic road ordinance and how we proceeded with that. And then, so that's outlined in red. And then I have a separate update on the POCD issues that I'm working on. So this was what I had reported at the meeting. And then under new business, there were things that just were omitted. The native plant sale, controlling knotweed workshop in Pomfret, and then we announced the Kakiewicz meeting. Those are things that were just not included in the minutes. So those things need to be corrected.
Mara and Jim are joining us.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any discussion? Or someone can make a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I make the motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, so the minutes will be adjusted as Jean changed them.
And I've already sent Grace the revised minutes, shortly after I received last month's minutes.
Okay. Okay, moving on to public participation. Ray, you just a fly in the wall, or do you have anything to bring up for us?
Can they hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I just want to thank everybody for everything you're doing. And I'm going to be a fly in the wall. Appreciate it.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Pam there too?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hi, Joe.
yeah.
Hi, Pam.
Okay, Grace isn't here for the treasurer's report, chairperson's report. Again, if anyone knows anyone who would want to join our committee, please let me know so I could send them a please join us letter. Communications, anyone have communications? Let me just check my email. I don't have anything. Oh, wow, no communications. Okay, so moving on to old business, Gene, DRC.
All right, there was no new activities to be reviewed under the DRC. However, following up on the scenic road penalty amendment to the town ordinance, I met with the Board of Selectmen and the Planning and Zoning Commission and presented to them the research that Crystal had done. Thank you so much, Crystal, of 9 towns that had scenic road ordinances with a penalty for violating them. And it was pretty amazing that all 9 of them had a $100 a day penalty. However, before I went to the meeting, I had this idea that I should look up what is the actual state enabling legislation that would permit a penalty, because you can't just do this without some kind of legislation at the state level. And it appears that they may have amended what we can do, and the maximum penalty in the state ordinance is $1,000. So I need to follow up on that, which I did. I contacted Pat Boyd, and I sent something to a liaison that was listed under Jeff Gordon's email at the state. And I heard back from Pat Boyd's assistant, and he got me an address or what department that I need to talk to. I got that about a week and a half ago. I haven't been able to follow up just because I don't have the freedom to come up and be on the computer like I used to during the day when I need to talk to people. So I still need to follow up on that, but that's still in progress.
So it's at 1,000. So 10 days, $100 a piece.
Well, that's it. It just said maximum penalty $1,000. And Chandler had some very good points when he pointed out that, okay, at what point do you assess the penalty? Immediately after they violated it, or do you give them a grace period to repair it? Or he asked a lot of questions, so I think it needs to be better fleshed out than what those other 9 towns had. We have to have a start date and an end date and what they have to do in the interim, in addition to paying a penalty. So it's a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be at the beginning, but we'll follow through on that when I have opportunities.
Right, but if 1,000, I mean, the maximum penalty is $1,000. A guy like whatever his name is, that's nothing to him. So what if he says, okay, here's the grand, I'm just going to keep going?
Well, see, that's where planning and zoning has the ability to have conditions of approval for the special hearing. So he still has to go through the special hearing process with planning and zoning, and they do have a special hearing scheduled. Ray can probably tell you, and Pam can tell you the date off the top of their head. It's the first Thursday in November. Am I correct?
November 6th.
Okay, so they're having the public hearing about this application because he did put in a driveway that without a permit. He did a lot of clearing. He removed a lot of large trees. Chandler estimated it was like up to 7 to 9 violations in just that stretch of the road that he may have done. And he was like, okay, so do you get penalized for every violation or do you get penalized for one violation? So those are all things that need to be fleshed out. But the public hearing is something that we should be present at. We need to make a strong stand for promoting the integrity of the ordinance. And we can't be just like forgiving because it will just mean the ordinance has no weight. So
It's 7 o'clock, November 6th at the town hall.
and was planning and zoning start at 7 or 7:30?
7:30, I believe.
Okay, 7:30, November 6th at the lower level of the town hall, right?
Right.
Hey, well, everybody who can be there, try to be there. But good work, Gene and Crystal. This is good. Any questions for Gene or further,
Well, I see
conversation on this?
I see you further down PZZ report. I did attend their first Thursday of the month meeting. When I explained to them, they did vote to support amending the scenic road ordinance to include a penalty. So my big thing is I'm not going to go through all this work if they're just going to say, no, we're not interested in doing it. So they are interested in having this work done.
Good job. Okay, Crystal, anything open space was?
No.
Okay, Gene talked P and Z. Grace is not here for ag report. Sure, Jim, anything stewardship was?
Yeah, just still working on getting the list, the master list together. Actually, Rebecca Hyde has done a lot of work, and other people have done work, more on others. And just try to get the file. There's a file for each property with conservation easement on it or other types of conservation land. I was thinking, I met with John Guskowski today to see if he had any thoughts about it as well, or contacts in other towns. So he responded really quickly. He got an email from people in Essex where they had hired an intern to do this project, and their intern put together this report, which I haven't had a chance to look at yet. But anyway, what I was on my mind, what I wanted to ask here is whether it seems to me that it would be a good idea before we start to go out to properties to let the Board of Selectmen know about this and sort of give them the heads up. I'm thinking so that to head off any kind of problems where property owners might be complaining to them. So that it seems to me that they should know that first.
Well, it'll be in our minutes, but I think that's one of our responsibilities, right, Joe?
It is, but
Yeah.
I still think it would probably be politically wise to
Okay.
let
Chris,
them know.
yeah, Gene.
I was going to suggest that we either do a press release and or use social media, either through the Conservation Commission, Facebook page, or whatever the town has, to let them know that the Conservation Commission is in the process of scheduling inspections of conservation easements, so that it's been, and there's also a newsletter that Amy
The economic
put
thing. Yeah.
together that can also help get out the word that we're in the process of doing this. And if they have any questions or if they want us to start at their property, how to get in touch with us.
Okay,
Yeah, send out, yeah, so that Woodstock Economic Development Team, they have a nice newsletter, so, and
Sure.
yeah, so we can let them know. Do you, do
well,
you want
I
me
can
to,
take
or,
care of
you-
yeah, sure, I can do that.
okay,
But do you think it is, should we also be going to the Board of Selectmen and letting them know?
well, I'll just give Chandler, I mean, again, it's already in our, our responsibilities, so I'll just, I'll send a letter off to Chandler, just give him a heads up,
Okay,
because we're already designated to do this.
Yeah,
Right.
I think, Jim, I think that's a good idea though, particularly if someone has purchased a property and knows that there's an easement but doesn't know necessarily what that entails. I don't really want to be greeted by somebody, with a shotgun, right? Like, I'd love to have people know, proactively be informed that this could be happening.
This is Crystal Adams. Didn't the last time we do this, were letters sent out?
Yes,
To all the abutters of the.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So how, that's one way to do it, postcards, just to let them know, or,
well,
Yeah.
right, and certainly we need to let the property owners know this and
Yeah.
the abutters, but do you not think it's necessary to talk to the Board of Selectmen?
no, it is necessary. I'm gonna give them a heads up that we're
Alright.
working on the project. And then we should
Okay.
have it in the economic development
Right.
newsletter. Yeah, the more people who are aware of it, the better. So I agree
The
with
other
you.
question, the other question I had is if a group of us goes to look at a site, does that require notice of a meeting?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Jean?
I think it might.
Yeah, if it's a group,
It's not a
Yeah.
meeting, though.
but it's the group getting together.
If the DRC does a site visit, do you have to post that as a meeting?
Not if we go individually.
But if it's,
If you're going together, then yeah, it needs to be posted as a meeting so the public knows. If you have a specific question related to this, email me at work and I can run it by the FOI person, but yeah, pretty much.
Well, I thought the plan was to assign each of us a few per year to do.
I mean,
and we're gonna
if
do
it's
it
just
individual.
one person going out, or maybe two people go, then you don't need to. But if we're all meeting or a group of us
Oh.
are meeting,
Yeah, right, Crystal. I don't think Jim means the whole committee goes.
no, but I was imagining more than one person going.
For safety,
Yeah.
we'd never go out with less than two.
Okay, so how you were talking about assigning each of us, so it would be a pair, two people per easement then.
Lee, I don't know if we all agreed that that's something we can all do. I mean, I think some
Right.
of us have limitations
Right,
on doing, taking on a project like that. I think it was discussed, but it wasn't necessarily agreed on, as I
I
recall.
agree.
Okay. Well, so if two people go out, that's not a quorum, so it's not a meeting, right?
No, Beth and I went out, we were just as part, like as Jean goes off and does things for the Conservation Commission or a few of us, Beth and I went out and did some of the properties. It wasn't considered a meeting.
Right. Because it's not a quorum, so it can't be a meeting.
We're doing work on behalf of the
Yeah. And if it's a
commission, but it wasn't a
meeting-
meeting.
Yeah. And if it's a meeting, you'd have to post it before you go there.
Well,
So two,
Jim
too
is
com-
correct, though, for a site visit, like if they were to do a site visit for wetlands or PZZ, that must be reported as a meeting, and they're not allowed to talk to each other, or else they have to record the conversations in the minutes. That
We're not regulatory like they are.
it's still,
it's still meeting rules.
So This is crazy. So
Hmm.
two people can't go out?
No, I think two
With-
people probably can because
Okay.
it's less than a quorum, but I can email, I think it's Russell at the FOI.
Yeah.
To double check, but if you want like a site visit and all of us getting together, then yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
I
Well,
think
we
that's
didn't-
gonna happen.
We didn't post an agenda when you went to 50 Acre Wood to clear paths, but there were more than how many
Yeah,
members?
that was a project. That was just clearing land project.
I guess we need to have clarification just so we're in accordance with the FOI rules.
I can email tomorrow.
Good
Okay.
question.
All right, that's all I had though.
Okay.
I'm hoping, just, you know, if we get things in place, I know, time is going by, but, maybe it's, I think I had mentioned November as being realistic. Now I'm thinking more early December or mid-December probably. I'm gonna
Okay.
be tied up the first 10 days of December, but
This has been on the agenda since you were chairperson, since Jean was chairperson, since you were chairperson.
all right,
1 month won't matter.
I know. As long as there's no blizzard, that's,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Okay. Pollinator pathway, Jean?
Well, I have the plaque. I picked it up. It looks really great. Karen McFarland paid for it, so it's all paid for. I did have to pick up some 100% silicone adhesive, which I haven't submitted the receipt for yet. I have not adhered the plaque to the stone yet because the stone wasn't as flat as it looked when I assessed it in the field. It was by some freaking miracle I was able to lift that damn thing into the back of my car to bring it home to work on it. I literally rolled it to the car, and then when I looked around, I couldn't find a single body to help me, so I willed it into the back of my car, and then got help on offloading it. But I've been chipping away at it with a chisel and a hammer, and I'm trying to fill it with some kind of cement to try to fill the low spots, and it's curing right now. So that sign will hopefully get into the ground before the ground freezes. And Jason said he'll help me when we get to that point.
Excellent.
Should I offer to stone grind it for her?
Or do you do that? Because I'm not so sure the patch I put on it is going to hold. Do you stone grind, Ray?
Oh, can you hear me?
I did hear you say
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh,
You said that out loud.
I could I could grind that for you. Jeez, I've done it before. But
All right, I will take you up on that.
oh, okay. I thought you. I told Pam, can I go stone grind it for her?
It's
Yes.
it's an
Yeah,
8x10 sign.
You
but
got Pam's
it's
email.
a heavy rock.
No. I don't mind even picking it up and anything I can do to help. It's something like putting a plaque up. Yeah, I could get into that for you.
Oh, you're awesome.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay,
Me-
Crystal, Sustainable Connecticut.
I don't have anything.
Okay, Jean, back to you, POCD.
Okay, at our last meeting, we agreed to promote the vision statement that we had developed, which I had shared with you previously. And our discussion is heavily focused on housing and our current regulations and how our current regulations make it very difficult to fit the housing into the affordable category. Planning and zoning is focused a lot on housing in their discussions as well. But we talked about something called the where did it go? Flow of housing continuum, which is addressing the needs of people from the starter home. They're just starting out. They don't have a lot of money, to a family home, which we have an abundance of in town. And then once you get beyond the fact your family's moved out and you've got this big house, you need to have moved to downsize, but that's not something you can do in Woodstock. So that's something that is a big focus of the committee at this time. And we talked about different models and stuff. And um, of how to achieve those goals. But there seems to be a thought that I think is unrealistic is if we do create more affordable housing in Woodstock, it's not necessarily going to be only for people who live in town. It's going to offer people from other towns an opportunity to move into town as well. So they seem to think if we made more community suitable for seniors, that the Woodstock seniors would have those opportunities exclusively. And I know that's not the case.
Is there any talk of any way to stop institutional investors from coming in and being like, oh, good, here's 20.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I don't know if that's a legal thing that we can do. So unless there's a deed restricted community that is, well, you still can buy rental properties, you know. So, but yet it's a problem all across the country that,
Right.
you know, people are buying homes up and they're keeping rents high because they're getting good profits from it.
What if it was a, I know this is kind of outside the scope of our call here, but what if it was like a tax rebate that was only available for primary residences?
That had, I think that was discussed, or did we discuss that at our last meeting? I'm trying to remember where I heard that discussed. No, I think it was discussed at POCD, and I don't know if there's any state enabling legislation that permits that. That needs to be investigated.
Right.
I'm not sure you can have a discount, because all of us, we get a discount, you know, because we're residents. So it would be more of a tax on non-residents.
Well, there's a lot of people who have second homes, you know, the lake homes. They're
Yeah.
not the primary residents.
Yeah.
So this discussion is, you know, if it's a second home, they can afford a second home, they can afford to pay higher taxes. There was just that all kinds of different things that are discussed. We only get an hour, so it's painfully slow process, but it's extremely important.
Okay, any further discussion on POCD? Then Walktober, Grace said it was a success. But that's all, you know, that's all I heard about it. But I think it went off well.
Aren't we supposed to have NatChog under old business, Maura?
I thought she said she didn't want to put NatChog there.
No, I just do it when it comes my turn. If it's not there, I don't know. I can update.
Do you want it a monthly agenda item, or it's as
Well, I mean, if you guys want to know what's happening with it, a good part of, you know, Woodstock is in the Natchog watershed, so
so
does apply.
Grace, when you listen to this, that'll, you know, add that to our agenda for next month.
And you do have an update, Maura, because you were at the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
So
Right.
give us it's all business, Maura. Give us an update.
Yeah, so the Natchog watershed project, it's an advisory board, is moving along well. We have 5 work groups that are making good progress on making work plans about things they're going to work on from now until next, probably November. And it has to do with things like riparian buffers, pollinator pathways, municipal land use education. So there's cold water streams, there's different work groups working on those things, taking recommendations from the Natchog watershed-based plan. And I did go to the Board of Selectmen meeting and did get them to approve the memorandum of understanding, which all 8 towns in the watershed, 7 of the 8 towns have now signed. And I'm going next month to Chaplin's Board of Selectmen meeting, and hopefully I'll get the 8th one. So that is saying that everybody is on board in those towns with what we are doing for the Natchog Advisory Board, which is recommendations from the plan, and that each one of them commits to you know, have one person representative from the town, and I'm happy to say that Pam Manella, I don't know if she volunteered or was assigned, but we're happy that she is going to be the representative for Woodstock. She also happens to work at Wyndham Waterworks, so that's a double bonus. And she is going to be helping with our May 2nd, 2026 field day and tour at Wyndham Waterworks. So if people want to put that on their schedule way ahead of time, we're actually already planning that. So that's a big education and outreach, you know, day that we're going to have. Yeah, so very happy to have Pam on board, and I think that's the update.
Excellent. Any questions for Maura? Not moving on to new business. Anyone attend any workshop? Jean?
Comfort, the Conservation Commission hosted a workshop. It was primarily to focus on their focus on Japanese knotweed, which I thought was really interesting considering we have a big knotweed problem at the Grange where the garden is. So I attended, but Jane Seymour from Connecticut DEEP was presenter, and she's focused on more than just knotweed. She talked about a lot of different invasive species and some of the problems related to them. The Pomfret Conservation Commission put out a invasive species guide, especially focused on knotweed, and I'm going to try to share if I oh, it's not showing up on my.
This is Crystal. I went biking this weekend, both on the airline trail through Pomfret and also in Pomfret Forest, both days on the weekend. And there were signs placed out about the Japanese knotweed removal, that this project was underway. And I should have taken a picture of the sign. I don't remember the exact wording, but just signs indicating that there was a knotweed removal project in progress. I don't know if that's related.
It is.
There's also a sign on the river trail in Putnam. There's a knotweed sign.
Oh, they're working on knotweed there? That's great.
I mean, there's like, you know, there's a sign along the trail.
But they came out with a booklet, which is available on their website, and you can download it, and it's about Japanese knotweed. And one of the things I learned is if you do cut it, it's really important to either wrap it up in a tarp or put it in a strong garbage bag, because all the pieces can root and then you just spread the problem. And it's going to take years to get any knotweed problem under control. I've been a casual observer of the knotweed on the former DOT property across from Sprucedale Gardens. There's a big pile of wood chips and it's just loaded with knotweed. And somebody, I don't know who owns the property now, but somebody has been in there cutting it, and it keeps coming back, and they cut it some more. They're trying to put some plants in there to compete with it, but the knotweed just keeps coming back. So it's not an easy plant to get rid of. And what they had, somebody brought in this huge root mass. It was, and if you've ever grown anything like anything that has eyes on it, like a potato, this thing was giant. It had all these eyes on it. All of those are going to be shoots coming up. So it's just, you know, you can knock one down and there's another one ready to come back up. Jane did talk about a different herbicide that I'd never heard of before, and I wrote the name down, but I don't have it in front of me. That is seeming to be useful about knotweed, but it does get into the soil, so it may impact things adjacent to the knotweed if you don't apply it carefully. But I'm impressed with what they had done. And I also learned that they do have a pollinator pathway initiative in town, although I don't see that one publicized as much. So I think the idea is to remove knotweed and put pollinators along the airline trail, as I had discussed with Maureen years ago. So it's happening.
Excellent. Any other attendees to any conference. So coming up, we know is Kakiwik on November 15th, or Saturday, November 15th. I think, Maura, you going?
Yeah, I signed up and I did get my reimbursement from the town already, so that's good.
Yeah. So
But
I think
I'm
Grace-
gonna be driving with a friend of mine, so I'm not gonna,
Sure.
you know.
And I know Grace is going. I'll be away, so I can't go. So if anyone else is interested, you can contact Grace if you want to carpool. And of course, you know, the commission pays for your tickets. So, okay, so on to open discussion. Jean?
Yeah, as a member of the Quiet Corner Garden Club, I assisted with planting 800 daffodil bulbs at a memorial garden planted in front of Woodstock Middle School. So next spring, as you're going down that stretch of 169, there'll be 800 daffodils popping up, and they're different bloom schedule, and they're randomly planted. So it'll be a nice show for like a month and a half or so.
Who's the memorial for?
Pat Papini's son, Michael.
Okay, thank you. Jim?
Sorry, no, I don't have anything.
Hey, Crystal?
Yeah, actually, Pat Papini and I are on the beautification committee, and we've been working with Sprucedale Gardens. Started last fall, like getting a draft of a plan to kind of redo the memorial gardens of the Judge Richard C. Noren, I think, memorial gardens in front of the town hall at the parking lot. Because the juniper there, I think it was dwarf juniper, and it was kind of like reaching end of life and kind of getting a little untidy with, just needed a facelift there. So we've been working on that, and Sprucedale donated a large amount of labor and plants, and then we used some money from the special fund that beautification has, and so everything is in, and we're really excited about it, and we've been watering it, and yeah, looking forward to seeing it grow.
Nice.
Thanks. Ray, you got anything for us?
Takes me a while to figure out how to turn it on. No, I'm good. I just want to let Jean know that Pam has your email, so she'll contact you. I'll find a way to get my hands on that stone for you. Okay? Now get it.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Jason?
I have nothing else, no?
Okay, Maura?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I don't have anything. Does anyone else have anything for the good of the order? And if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
I'll
moved.
move to adjourn.
Jim?
I'll second. Jean.
15 seconds. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the trick or treating. Don't eat too much candy.
And vote.
And vote.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
and
and
vote, yeah.
as you're voting, don't forget that they have a food drive and a donation drive for fuel assistance at the town hall. And I think the need is going to be tremendous. So don't forget to come packing with
Yeah, and we collect food and fuel funds year round at the town hall, so it's not just a voting thing.
but that's where I see it and I say, oh shoot, I forgot it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to forget this year.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Night.
And we'll see you next.
Night.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
I know.